Hey, what's up guys? In this video, I'm gonna share 3 ways to increase your credit score fast. Hey, what's going on everyone? This is Kwak, one of the Kwak brothers, real estate investor and entrepreneur. And in this video, I'm gonna share 3 ways to increase your credit score ultra fast. In fact, this is gonna be a start of a new video series on how to increase your credit score, how to improve your credit so that you can save money on an interest, you can get approved for HELOC, or whatever goal that you have with your credit. Now, before we dive right into it, be sure to go and hit the like button on this video because it does help us a lot with our YouTube algorithm. And if you wanna see other people and their credit score increase, chances are you want to hit the like button to get us started. Okay, let's dive right in. And before we do, I want to make sure we break down and make sure you guys understand that there are hundreds of different types of credit scores out there. I know some of you guys may have a free app like Credit Karma or Credit Sesame, and a lot of times these apps tend to give you scores that the banks may not see, or banks don't have the same scores as you may see on your free app. So we want to make sure we understand that there are hundreds of different types of credit scores. You know, there's FICO 8, FICO 5, FICO 9, which is the newer model, Vantage 3.0, there's national equivalency. I mean, there's so many different types of credit scores out there, but the 2 major credit scores that are often used is Vantage 3.0, okay, and there's FICO, Fair Isaac Corporation, okay? And most banks, probably 95% of the banks, are gonna use FICO to determine your credit score as a credit scoring model. Vantage 3.0 is what you often see in Credit Karma, Credit Sesame. So the Vantage 3.0 score is great. It's a good temperature gauge. It kind of gives you an idea of where your credit is going to be, but it's not the most accurate way, or it's not the same scoring model that the banks use. So it's kind of like taking the SAT, but the college that you want to go to is looking at ACT. So obviously different scoring model. And you want to be aware of that, because if you improve your Vantage 3.0 score, but if you don't improve your FICO score, I mean, it's kind of, it's not going to get you where you want. So with Vantage 3.0 and FICO, they weigh different things differently. But because what matters, FICO, right? I'm going to talk about FICO more in this video, mainly because that's what the banks see. Now with FICO score, majority of what counts towards the score is how well you pay on time. So the first rule is pay on time. Now, I know this is super duper obvious. Most of you guys are saying, oh, this is boring. Like, I already know what this is. But it's super crucial because we don't learn this in high school. We don't learn this in college. Maybe you do, but most of us have never learned to pay on time, and you want to make sure you pay on within 30 days. Now, if you have a business with business credit, we're going to talk about this in a whole nother video, you want to pay on time super duper fast. Now, if you, for some reason, look at your credit report, or you look at your free credit reporting app, and if you see that there's a missed payment, what you can do is you can call your credit card company or call the creditor and find out what's going on, right? There's a way to somewhat rectify it. Most credit card companies are gracious enough and are generous to where they want to work with you so that they don't report a late payment. So at one point, if you're like, man, I don't know if I can make this payment, or let's say your credit report already says that you missed a payment, go and give your credit card company a call and see what you can work out with, because this is something that most people don't know. They just think, oh, I have a late payment, therefore I have a late payment, and that's a done deal. There's many ways, and I'll also talk about credit repair in just a sec, but if you cannot pay on time, or if you have a record of not being able to pay on time, call the company to see what you can do to rectify the situation. That would be the first thing that I would do. Work directly with the creditor. Now, the second thing that contributes to your credit score greatly, and this is something that a lot of people have issues with, and I'll use my pen. Okay, there we go, is your utilization rate. Okay, I know I just said something fancy there, but stay with me. Utilization rate has to do with how much of your credit are you using. So 30% of your FICO scoring calculation uses utilization. So here's what utilization is. And utilization only factors in, the variable that goes into utilization is your revolving line of credit. A revolving line of credit is like your credit card, where you can reuse, pay back, reuse, pay back. Some home equity line of credit, some HELOCs are also revolving, or at least reported as open revolving. So let's say you have $10,000 limit credit card, okay? And you have another credit card of $5,000 limit, and you have another credit card that's the same thing, $5,000 of credit card limit. let's say you have, you know, $1,000 balance here, okay, zero balance here, and maybe you have, you know, you maxed out this credit card right here at 5,000. So how the FICO calculation works in terms of your utilization, it takes your 1,000 and 5,000, and it says, you know what, you have $6,000 of usage out of the total limit that you have of 10,000, 5,000, and 5,000. So you have $20,000 of total limit, and you have $6,000 of usage. FICO calculation basically says, you know what, this person might be using a little bit too much of credit. Okay, if you pass the 30% mark, this is where you're gonna start to see your score drop, because banks are starting to think, well, this person's awfully using a lot of credit, something must be wrong, they might be in a financially distressed situation, they're not able to pay off their balance completely, so something that might not be right with this guy or gal here. Ideally, what you guys wanna do is keep that utilization percentage low, below 30%, but that also doesn't mean that you should keep it zero completely. This is another common myth that I see a lot with people with credit, is that they believe that by keeping their balance completely at zero, that would improve their credit score, which actually it may not. And the reason why I say that is you wanna have some credit usage to at least keep your credit score up. And one thing I wanna make sure I backtrack and explain is that credit score doesn't mean everything, guys. Credit report is what actually matters more greatly than just your credit score. So focus on improving your credit report, then your credit score will also follow and improve as well. So with your credit utilization, keep it below 30%, but again, like I said, don't just go straight to zero. My suggestion, my opinion, is to keep it anywhere between 1 to 2% utilization. That way, you show your creditors and banks, and as well as your credit bureaus, that you're using credit. You are a credit user. If you're not using credit, chances are you don't have the best credit score. There's actually a rumor that Bill Gates have terrible credit score because he pays everything in cash. He never uses credit cards, right? He never needs to get a loan. This is why Bill Gates has a very low credit score, because he doesn't use credit. So you want to show to your creditors that you are using credit. So if you have a high utilization rate, focus on getting that utilization rate down as low as possible, preferably less than 30%. That's what you should be able to focus on. And what you'll notice is that when you go from, let's say, 50% utilization to 30% utilization, you can expect your credit score to go up pretty high, and it's pretty significant. So do that. That's my second tactic to go and improve your credit score fast. The third way to improve your credit fast is potentially using credit repair to get your credit score up there pretty quickly. Now, credit repair is a process of correcting, rectifying, and removing any inaccurate, unverifiable, or untimely information that's being reported on your credit report. So there's a statistics out there that say that out of all the Americans, 1 out of 5 credit reports contain an error or inaccurate information that isn't necessarily due to the fault of the person holding the credit report. So you may want to go look at your credit report and see any inaccuracies or anything that's misleading, or any information that that's not verifiable. You want to look for those, because they could potentially be hurting your credit score more than you know. So credit repair can be done on your own. There are obviously companies that you can hire to do the credit repair for you. There are some really good credit repair companies out there. Be careful with the ones that ask you for upfront fee. In fact, that's illegal. They shouldn't be doing that. And be careful with credit repair companies that guarantee you any results, because no credit repair company can ever do that. So when you go and shop for credit repair companies, be mindful of those, but do remember that you can do the credit repair yourself. It's just kind of like, do you want to do your own oil change, or do you want to have a professional do your oil change? When you go through a credit repair process, it typically involves with asking the credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, to see if the information on their credit report is in fact verifiable, it's timely, and accurate. I know there's a lot of credit repair tactics that say, oh, you should go and tell the credit bureaus that none of the credit accounts are yours, which obviously you don't want to lie. So what you do want to do is send them a letter. Do not ever dispute online. Don't ever start a dispute online. I know there's apps out there that lets you dispute your inaccuracies and unverifiable information on your app. Do not do this, because when you go through an app or an online process of disputing any item on your credit report, what tends to happen is you waive your rights to see what methods that the credit bureaus have used to verify your information to be true. You want, as an American, want to know what methods and what process the credit bureaus have used to make sure that your information on credit report is accurate, verifiable, and timely. But if you don't, then you waive your rights and you don't have a whole lot of option as far as your disputing method with your credit bureaus. So when you do a dispute, or even when you ask the credit bureaus to check on your credit report to see if it's accurate, you want to do everything in writing, and preferably you want to send things using certified mail. So a lot of times, even on asking, hey, credit bureaus, please check on my credit report to see if it's accurate, even that mail, they'll go ahead and update and potentially delete some inaccurate information that's on your credit report, which could bump your credit score up relatively pretty quick within 30 to 60 day time window. So those are three-way, guys. So number one is pay on time. And if you don't know if you can pay on time, or if you already have a late payment, go and call the creditor to see what you can do. There are many generous and gracious ways that the credit card companies and creditors deal with situations like this. Number two, keep that utilization low. One thing I forgot to mention is that you can also decrease your utilization rate by also increasing your credit limit. So back to the other example, and I should have explained this thoroughly, but let's say that $10,000 credit card, if you can call in or request for a credit line increase from $10,000 to $15,000, while keeping the balance the same, you can expect your utilization rate to go down because obviously you have a lot more limit and your balance stayed the same. So that's another way to decrease your utilization rate if you cannot absolutely make a payment to get that utilization rate down. The third way, obviously, is just what I've talked about, is credit repair. You can do this on your own. There is a process to do this. Be smart about it, or you can hire a credit repair company. It does cost a little bit of money, but oftentimes it can help you remove any inaccurate or unverifiable information from your credit report. So guys, those are three ways to increase your credit score fast, and those are within 30 to 60 day time period. There isn't, unfortunately, a magic pill to make your credit increase super duper fast. Don't ever buy into products or services that promises any sort of result. Sometimes they might be a scam. So guys, I hope this video helped. Be sure to hit the subscribe button as well as hit the bell icon so that you get notified for future videos. The next video that you guys should watch is how to build business credit. So if you have businesses or you're looking to make money through a business, go ahead and check out that video on how to build business credit super duper fast.